Hello, Meow.
Meow.
And welcome back to the channel.
I'm Shift.
And I'm Electro.
And we are
Shift Row R. Yes. We are a day late.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yes, Kingdom Hearts 3. We're being too obsessed with it.
Yeah. We kind of split up the worlds. I got 3 worlds, and then you got all the leftovers that I really didn't want to do.
But then again, I kind of got the worlds. I was like, oh, you can have it. I'm like, no, you can have it. I'm like, I don't really want to play this one. No.
I was like, I definitely want these 2 worlds. And you were like, I have one favorite that I really, really want to do. I'm like, oh, that's a really good one, but fine, you can have that.
Yeah, it's like, you stole my other favorite one, so I got this one.
I'm like, if I get the 2 like really good ones that I want to do and be a magical princess, then you can have the one that's
that
awesome.
One good one that you like.
It's like a 10 level though, let's admit it.
Yeah. So anyways, today we are doing Comicstorian.
Yeah.
And the backstory to Comicstorian, how we came across his channel, was that on Shift's birthday, like 4 or 5 years ago now,
Yeah.
we went and bought you like a whole bunch of comics.
Like an entire box full. It was like literally the most we've ever spent in one store in our life.
Yeah, because we went to the store and they're like $1 each. We're like, oh yeah, let's just buy like 50 comic books. So that's what we did, bought like a whole heap of them. And then we also found Comicsology, I think it was, which is like an app or computer thing where you can get digital copies of comics, that's the word.
Yeah, and then you bought me a whole series of The Flash.
Yeah.
And it was like, I don't know, it went from... It was still going when you bought it.
Yeah.
But it was like, it started in the 90s or something.
Yeah, I think the ones that you were reading at the time were the New 52 or something. Was that the series that was currently running?
No, the New 52 happened after you bought those. And then you started buying the New 52 after that.
And then like something else happened. They've done like a whole new universe now or something like that.
I have no idea. I can't keep up.
I know, right? It's like they keep changing. Like, I don't really know what's going on with you, Barry. Like, come on, man.
I was like, well, Wally West was the main protagonist in the ones that you bought me originally. And he had kids and they, you know, had their own powers and all that stuff. And then it went on to the New 52 and I was kind of a little bit disappointed because I was like, The Flash is kind of like my grandfather and father's superheroes from back then. Mm-hmm. And I'm kind of like, you know, their kids are going to be around my age, and then I was like hoping for character progression and new heroes that are actually living in our era.
It's kind of like the Simpsons syndrome, where the characters like never age and they constantly stay the same no matter what. It's like, okay, Superman, you've had like 50 children now and you're still 20. What's going on, dude?
Yeah, it was kind of like that. Like, I really want like character progression, and after like reading, well, going through all those comic books and getting to this character progression of, you know, him finding out about his birth and then also like, you know, having kids and getting married. It was kind of like, oh, reset.
Yes, I know. That's like the worst thing about it, is that they keep redoing over the stories. It's like trying to piece that backstory together is like worse than trying to figure out the Greek gods like family tree. It's like, I don't even know where to begin.
Well, before comic books, I really did like Greek gods, so technically
it's like, but yeah, so we got that, and then you ended up not being able to read the comics.
No, because I'm dyslexic.
Yes.
So I pretty much collected comic books when I was younger because I really loved the artwork in them. Hence why I kind of went with somebody that is an artist, and, you know, I love drawing, probably more than you. And yeah, so I just look at the pretty pictures, and you just started reading the comics to me.
Yes, and then because there was so many, it was like, all we were doing was like reading comics, like, I wanted to go do something else now.
Yeah, and you read comics with no character at all. You sound like a robot. You're like, and then he went up the hill. And you were like, maybe I will find you a program online that will read it to you. And then we figured out you need an electric copy.
Yeah, that they had like some out when we were looking at it, but there's only like very limited, and they were charging like $20 or something ridiculous like that for one comic. So we're kind of like, no. And then we came across Comicstorian.
Yeah, and he read the comic books with a character. I became obsessed with Venom again because when I was a kid, I watched this cartoon
On like Cheese TV or something like that, wasn't it? Yeah.
And they did like a Spider-Man throwback, and it was like all these different Spider-Man like animes, not animes, cartoons. And there was Venom and Carnage plummeting to Earth while on a satellite or on a rocket or something.
Yeah.
And they had the cringiest voice actors ever.
Oh my god, we were trying to watch She-Ra recently, and was like, oh my god, that voice acting is so terrible. Cannot watch this. I'm just like, oh.
But like, Venom and Carnage became my favorite characters. I was like, they should make a series of Venom and Carnage because they're just amazing. And Carnage became my favorite because my favorite color was red at the time. Now it's purple. And I was just like, they're so awesome. And even Spider-Man, he had this really cool outfit. He had like web things under his arms.
Yeah.
And he glided around. I was like, oh, this is so much better. So apparently they were doing this special on Cheese TV leading up to a new Spider-Man coming out. And after they showed the old ones with Venom and Carnage in it, I was like, I don't really care about the new one coming out. This is pretty awesome. I'll just keep watching the old ones. Thanks.
Where's my Venom? Where's my Carnage? I wanna watch this. But see, I remember they did that like all the time when they'd like bring out the new seasons, like marathon of like back to back, like 10 episodes of whatever the show is, or whatever it was. And you'd get up at like 5 o'clock in the morning and just go like, yeah, I'm gonna watch all of it. And then you get up at like 8 o'clock and you've missed half, and you're like, oh.
I would just stay up all night and then sleep during school. I was like, priorities.
Yeah, that was the worst thing though. Like they'd always put cartoons on like so early in the morning before you'd even get up.
I mean, Digimon was even, I think 5:30 to 6 o'clock. So I'd get up and watch Digimon, and then go back to sleep while Pokemon was on, and then wake up for Dragon Ball Z.
Like I remember, like I'd get the TV guides. We used to get the magazines and stuff, and I'd go through it. I'm like, all right, now what cartoons are on at what time? It's like, all right, Pokemon's on at like 6 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday. Like, all right, I'm setting my alarms for 6 o'clock in the morning on a Wednesday, and then like every day would be like different times, so I'd get up at a different time just so I could watch a specific cartoon. I'm like, you guys are so annoying. Because then in like the afternoons it'd be like Play School and Bananas in Pajamas. I'm like, I don't like those shows. But it's always like the worst ones after school and like the best ones before school.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Anyway, so I got hooked on Venom on his channel, Comicstorian's channel, because we're back on that subject now. And he does voices. And you don't do voices, and it's so entertaining. Like, first when he did the voices, I was like, oh my god, there's actually someone voice acting it and giving it character. And I was like, this is amazing. And then I was like, about Deadpool? I was like, I don't read Deadpool. I was like, I know that like Deathstroke and Deadpool, they're kind of like the same kind of character or something. And I was like, which one's the copycat? And I was like, okay, I'll read it. And it was like the zombie head Deadpool, and he characterized that voice too. And I was like, this head is so funny. It's hilarious. So I'm like, binge watch all that, binge watch all Venom, and then there's like Agent Venom, and then there was like the whole story plot for that. I was like, oh, they did a story arc for the whole Clintar race. This is amazing. And then I got you to draw.
Yes. I think I ended up drawing like 20 different types of Clintars after you saw that. Like, damn you!
I was like, what happens if Jean Grey and Rogue had like some sort of clone, and then it was like had its own Clintar, and what would it look like? And then I was like, what happens if Northstar had his own Clintar? And then what happens if Storm had her own Clintar?
And then it was like Wiccan and Iceman, and like everyone in the X-Men pretty much ended up when they're in Clintar.
I think, I can't even remember all of them. There was going to be Spider-Man too.
Yeah, but I think Wiccan was like one of my favorites. I loved his hoodie because he had like the hoodie, but the hoodie was on Venom's face.
Yeah.
And it looks so cool. I'm like, I really want that hoodie now. But yeah, so if you haven't noticed as well.
Also, before we go on to the next subject, I actually made my own OCs of symbiotes. So I have my own purple and red one called Blood and Poison.
Yeah, so I remember those, and then they're like joined together, and it was like this big winged creature version, like Groot.
Yeah,
because Groot got like Clintard, and when we saw that, we're like, oh, that is sick!
It really was.
And I was like, they gotta put that in the movie now, but they won't. I don't think they'll ever put like the Clintard planet in the movie.
Crossover, maybe?
Maybe, but they just brought out the Venom movie, so
exactly.
They could. Oh my god, that'd be so cool! I'd love to see that. It looks amazing. You guys gotta go check it out, like today. But yeah, so if you haven't noticed in the picture, it's inspired by like heaps of different heroes.
We didn't know much about the Comicstorian himself because we tried researching, and all his wiki said is he had brown eyes and black hair. So we're like, maybe we'll just do a character that's inspired by what he means to us instead.
Yeah, so we got like inspiration from like some of our favorite voiceover things that he's done for comics, like Wayward, which is a really cool one about like strings and spirits and stuff like that.
I never actually heard of that one before I actually started watching his channel, as well as there was this cat one. We didn't inspire it by the cat, but that one's awesome too.
So it's also got the Clintar inspired Agent Venom. He's like big tanky form.
Yeah.
And a bit of Spider-Man in the armpit region, because, you know, that's like the favorite part.
Yeah.
And the cape thing around the waist is like inspired by Spawn, because Spawn has like the most magical cape ever.
And the coolest looking Flash, which is the blue Flash.
Is that like the future evil-y one? Oh, sorry. And yeah, and I forget what others. It's like heaps. Carol Danvers is the original Miss Marvel, kind of inspired the pose and stuff, because that was like so iconic for me from comics. Like,
you were saying when we were going to do a comic inspired character that you wanted to do the classic female body type where the proportions were kind of exaggerated a lot.
Yes, because to me, when I think of comics, I think of like the 70s, 80s, and 90s where they're very like tanky and stuff like that, and you could actually look at them and go, she could beat absolutely everything out of that person.
Yeah.
So that's what I was trying to go for and stuff like that, because I thought it would be really fitting and stuff to make it like a superhero, magical girl, and then, you know, add all the little effects to make it a little sparkly and everything.
And we added a mask because, you know, superheroes have got to have a mask.
Yes, and then it was like a fancy kind of mask because it's like it's magical at the same time. So I think that's pretty much like everything. I think I even got inspiration from Iron Man's new nanotech suit.
Oh, I love that suit! Oh my god!
In the movie, when they did it, and it like just transforms and stuff, I'm like, oh my god, that's so satisfying to watch.
Yes, and in one of the comics that I read, well, I didn't read it. I think you read it, Jeremy. But anyway, one of the comic books, there was this thing where it actually was linked with his brain, because apparently he has to tell his suit what to do.
Yeah.
So the awesome thing is that with the nanotechnology, I don't know if it was the nanotechnology one, but he developed this software that makes it like he just thinks or he just motions a little bit instead of like giving it commands, fly this way, fly that way, which is more logical.
Yeah, wasn't there like an alternate universe Iron Man where it had it or something and it's bio nanos or something like that?
Well, he was a meta in another comic book, and it was like his brain was throughout his whole entire body, but it made him really susceptible to damage, but he could also heal from any wounds or something like that. It was really, really weird.
Yeah, so there again, there's alternate universes for comics, which makes it even more complicated to know everyone's like, oh, what? Stories and stuff. So yeah, so there's also that, and I think I tried to do like a little bit of Asgardian armory style on the chest area. I don't know if it really comes through, but it looks cool.
I mean, I think I also watched his video on the female Thor, which was so amazing. The twist, you never saw it coming. Don't spoil it.
Yes. I remember that, as well as, you know, in the movie, how Thor got his new hammer.
Yeah.
Wasn't that how, in the comics, wasn't that the one where he got his new hammer as well?
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure it looks completely different, and I don't actually know if it's the same. Like, I read up until the point where there was the massive story arc with Odin's son, because that's what he's called afterwards. And then it was kind of like he has this other hammer that's huge, but it doesn't actually explain,
Yeah.
like, if he gets the hammer back. So I don't know.
Yeah, I know, there's just so much information to try and remember. But yeah, so as well as like Katana as well, I was like, I should probably
so
do
good.
some people more people from DC, because I think right now it's like majority Marvel. So like the Asian inspired hairstyle and stuff is like Katana, as well as like the mask and stuff. Because I don't know, I've always really liked her. I've always liked someone with a samurai sword. And then she was there, and she's got like a really cool samurai sword where it like traps the souls of people,
Yeah.
which sounds really cool.
I
And-
mean, if you could like trap their souls and put them in another body just as a prank or something, that'd be awesome.
It's like buddy swap, like, oh, what are you? You're like a supermodel? I'm gonna take us out, and then I'm gonna.
Can you imagine if the prank channels actually have the samurai sword and not just going up to people going, haha, I pranked you, you're switching bodies with somebody.
It's like, today we're gonna like transfer the soul of the prime minister into something completely like a shark or something, you know, something completely random. It's like, okay. But yeah, so you guys, if you're not really into comics, we suggest you like look out Comicstorian's channel and like see if there's anything you like. There's heaps and heaps of comics to choose from, especially if you're like into manga and animes and stuff like that. Comics, I found, was like an extremely good transition in styles, like, because they used to do a lot of anime manga type drawings with the big eyes and everything like that.
Yeah.
And then when I got into comics, I decided to get like more into, you know, the physiques and stuff like that, and anatomy and like their outfits and stuff. I decided to go like crazy with my outfits, and I feel like just that transition from anime to manga to comics really helped.
As well as comic books have the best storylines ever. I feel like on TV, on movies and stuff like that, they can't be as flexible as they can with comic books. And I literally finish a comic book and I'm like, this needs to be a movie.
Yeah, but that's the thing though, like every time there's like a book translated into a movie, it's they have to skip so much of the good stuff. They have to get like right to the point for it to actually work out. So if you are a fan of the movies, get into the comics.
Yeah.
They are so good, and you like sit thinking like, oh, this is so juicy, because so much stuff happens. Like if you learnt about Wanda from Marvel's Avengers movies, if you learnt who she really was and what her powers really were, you'd be like, holy moly, like, wow. She's insane in the comics.
Yeah.
And like with most of the characters, they're a lot more intense and a lot more to them.
So in depth.
Yes. So that's it from us today, guys. I hope you guys liked the video and liked us talking about comics. It's like a big hobby of ours, clearly. And we hope you all
Like and subscribe.
and click the bell notification button next to it. Is it
Yeah.
next to it or below it? Somewhere near it. You click the subscribe and it pops up, and you click on that so you get our notifications. Alright, bye meow.
Meow.